you may find it hard to believe, but some of the world's top 200 tennis players are really struggling to earn a living there.
Yeah, it's a story that has been around for some time. The research from a team now at Victoria University's Institute of Sport has done some further drilling down, and it shows some are struggling to even break even on the tour, and Dr. Michael Bain is one of the lead researchers. Good to talk to you, Dr. Bain, and it is an interesting one. I've noticed this before. The Wall Street Journal last year did a comparison of the 1 to 32 ranked, and it is a very big difference. Yet people think that it's all the high-flying, glamorous, fast sports cars kind of lifestyle, don't they?
Yep, absolutely, and that's certainly not the case. Our review of tournament structure, commissioned by the ITF, has really uncovered some of the costs associated with competing on tour, and they're pretty major.
So give us an idea what it costs to be on the tour as a professional.
Yep, sure. So obviously it depends where you come from and whether you're a top 2,000 or 500, for example, or 50. But a pretty defensible calculation would be around about $160,000 a year. And if you just look down the ranking list, essentially, you can see that only about 160 men and 150 women actually made that much prize money.
So what do they have to spend on? Obviously travel and accommodation, but I guess they have to pay for their coaches to come with them and all the rest of that?
So it's like a small business, essentially. You've got to pay for coaches, strength and conditioning staff, nutritionists. You have to obviously eat well. And of course, as you mentioned, the flights and accommodation. Everybody has to be. You have to pay for that for your whole team, and you're not backed by a club at all. So it's not like you enter an AFL team and just get a wage and that's it. Yeah.
So if they only say, let's round it out at $200,000 a year. If they're only earning $200,000 on the tour, then they're not even paying their bills.
No, that's essentially correct. Yeah.
And if they come to a Grand Slam like this, they might have to try and get a wild card or win those matches that we don't normally see just to get into the first round. What happens if they miss out there?
They miss out. It's tough, and I guess probably the most interesting aspect of it is that we really could be supporting a lot more athletes. Basically one of the stats that come out of the review was that about over 50% of the total prize pool goes to about 1% of the actual player group. So
they tried to change that, didn't they? They had a slight restructure where first round, second round, third round losers would get a tiny increase in their pay.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it wasn't massive, was it?
Well, certainly not massive, but it's a really good step in the right direction, I think.
How much money do they get just for appearing in round one? It's about 15,000.
Probably stumped me there, but there's actually been a very recent increase in the prize money. So it used to be about $34,000, I'm pretty sure, last year. And you think about that and you think, well, they got $34,000 to turn up and obviously not win. But
that's only the top 4 tournaments, but it's all the other little ones that they have to do where they probably would get a negligible amount for losing in round one.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're looking at futures events, the lowest grade of futures events, they're worth about $10,000, and there are about 32 participants, and it's all divided into doubles and singles as well. So even in the singles prize pool, it's only $6,000. So you don't make a whole lot of money, and you have to give up a whole week's work essentially. So
yeah, I've heard extraordinary stories of players literally living on people's floors during the course of an Australian Open, which seems like it's not a very level playing field.
Sure.
Which is why you can perhaps understand why some players dominate so much, because their whole conditions, who they're able to play, who they are able to pay, is just at a completely different league.
Sure, and I don't think this is really a chance to criticise the pay that those top players do get. I mean, simple dollars and cents, they're absolutely worth the investment, and what they bring to the sport is amazing. But I guess it's important that we understand that there is a cost associated with that, and that we're probably not supporting development tennis as much as we possibly could be.
That's the thing. I mean, we're talking all weekend. There was lots of talk about the junior players that Australia is producing. It's that they've got to get from there to the top 20, and there's a lot of years and a lot of cost in between, isn't it? Sometimes they don't make it. Often they don't make it. Like the kids like this, and you think that it's it's a straight journey from there to the top if they're good enough, but the cost gets in the way as well.
It's actually getting longer, the road,
for
men.
At what ranking does it start where they actually start making a decent living? At what number ranking would you estimate?
Sam Stozer wrote an interesting article about these sort of topics, and she said that essentially if you're in the top 50, you're making a decent living, and we'd probably agree with that. For the men, in the men's game, roughly $97 million was given to the top 50 athletes, and as you mentioned before in that article, even amongst the top 30 men, it's very
huge disparity. I think like Fernando Verdasco was earning $700,000 compared to Rafael Nadal, who was earning $34 million. And of course, they're the ones who get all the endorsements. Whereas if you compared it to NBL, the difference between the 1 and 32 was 16 and 12 million. So the 32 ranked was only earning $4 million less than the top ranked.
Yep.
I'm bamboozling with you with figures, but it shows you that we're not supporting those lower players.
Yep.
Do you think Tennis Australia and the other comparable bodies around the world will take this research on board?
I certainly hope so. I mean, the ITF commissioned us to do this study, which is, in my opinion, fantastic, because they're really obviously keen to understand the sport a bit better. And this is obviously we've had a lot of stories from players, but we have a much clearer idea of what the road looks like now, and hopefully that will inform any decisions in terms of how we move forward in funding development tournaments and the like.
Dr. Bain, thank you very much for coming in.
No worries, thank you.
Yeah.